ladies and gentlemen of the media, or rather gentlemen of the media, welcome to the Orlando Pirates press conference ahead of our Champions League match, second leg match versus Djabal FC of the Comoros. Because obviously we're building up for the match tomorrow, but I will give leeway for anyone who has questions for the upcoming league match on Tuesday, because we will not avail the team for any media opportunities prior to that match. I'd like to begin with welcoming the home team coach and captain. Welcome, gentlemen. Perhaps if you can please give us a brief summary of the preparations, having just recently came back from the first leg match, and now you get to face the opponents for the second leg at Orlando.
Good morning, everyone. Just getting the proper rhythm. After the past week, it was more about traveling and establish ourselves in the venue where we have to play the first leg. This week, a bit more time to prepare the games, important games coming for us. So far, so good. Happy to be back in our training ground, to have time to prepare these important games, and yeah, looking for the time to play at home in a attractive competition like CAF Champions League, our first game at home, and hopefully, and I'm sure that we're gonna offer a good performance one more time.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be back home at our training facility after a tough trip. Preparing really well for the upcoming match, the second leg. We are excited and looking forward to the match. Like the coach has said, very interesting competition, and we want to do well.
Okay, we'll now open for questions from the floor as per norm with 2 roving mics. If you have any questions, please by a show of hands and identify yourself as well as the company you represent prior to asking your question. Start over there. Where there's a raised hand, just in front of you there.
from CBC Sport. My question is to the coach. Coach, your first experience of continental football, what was it like? Obviously, I mean, in and out, traveling, and even having to postpone the Swallows game midweek. Do you feel you prepared for it? The squad is prepared for it, for the congested fixture that sort of lies ahead, and the challenge of playing against the opposition that you're not so familiar with, and you have to do a lot more work to get information on them.
Yes, it's different. The way we organize the things is key. All we do before and after the games, take care of small details, guarantee that the players can rest, travel safe, travel as quick as possible. All of those things are going to play a relevant role in our performance. It's something new for me, but I was already more than well instructed before the competition started. But obviously, even though I've got a lot of info from my players, from the coaching staff, or many people around myself to prepare myself for a competition that requires you a different type of mindset. You have to be ready to react, to adapt yourself to many and particular different circumstances. The first leg was not an exception. Now we play home. We're gonna face the game with 1 goal advantage, but it doesn't mean that is ready. That we are already in the next round. We need to be serious tomorrow. Face the game with a big ambition to show that we can even do much more. And learning is a learning process for all of us as a group together. It's our first experience together. It's my first experience in the continent as an individual. So I'm learning every minute. I'm a person that used to be observant is the word. So trying to learn as quick as possible in order to help my players as good as possible.
morning all. Walter Maela, freelance for Sokalatuma. My question is directed to the captain. Obviously, after ending up the season as runners-up of the league title last season, you guys will be wanting to win the title maybe this season, and then also be able to defend the 2 titles that you won. And that will be also the CAF Champions League. How tiring is it going to be for you as players, in making sure that you challenge for all 4 titles, considering 5 as well, subjected to be corrected, 5, and then especially with the traveling included. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know we have a busy schedule, hectic schedule, but I think we prepared really well during our preseason. The road that we had, I think it will be influential going into the season. I feel like the squad is more than capable of dealing with the schedule. Like the coach has already said, we have good players, a quality squad. And I know that each and every individual will play a role to make sure that we do well and we go all the way. Coming back to the 5 competitions, I mean, yes, as a big brand, as Orlando Pirates, we want to do well. We want to win all the matches that we play. We want to play all the minutes. But we also need to take care of the little details. We rest when we have to rest, eat well, make sure that we look after each other, and I'm sure our technical team will manage the squad and make sure that we are well prepared to challenge for all the competitions.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Chris. Coach, how important is it that the mental well-being of these players, and indeed yourself, and also staff around, is taken care of at this club? And are there programs at Orlando Pirates that deal with this kind of thing, especially when it comes to the mental wellness and mental well-being of players and staff?
I don't know if I understood the question correctly, but when we think about traveling and playing games every 3 games, I think it's changing the topic. Fortunately, the people is starting to think about and speak and ask about mental health as well, and because when we think about recovery, we used to only think about physiological recovery, the load in your muscles and the knocks that the players get during the games that play an important role the day after. But it's also important to make sure that we are ready and capable to set our mind to play every 2-3 games with not with the pressure, but with the responsibility to know, as you said before, and the captain said, that we don't see any reason why we cannot win every game. And if you really want to be consequent with that mentality, you need to make sure that you are competitive and you can set your mind to compete every 2-3 games with the responsibility to win, not only going to play and try to do your best. We know that go to the games and try to do our best is not enough. If we want to be, and we really want to be, and we are a competitive team, already is a reality, the mental side played an very important role. And for that, in my opinion, as a coach, the most important thing is that they are taking care of each other in the group, that the atmosphere in the group is good, that they support the one who is playing, the one who is not playing, that everybody is training well, so when you require one player that is not playing regularly is ready to deliver and is ready to perform in the level that Orlando Pirates requires. All of those things are going to play a very important role, and as good as we can, we're trying to take care of that as well.
Thanks, Coach. Knowing what you know now about Djabal, do you think it's going to be easier, the second leg? You've played as an adult, obviously, Pirates break 3 CAF competitions final in just 10 years. How much do you need this one? How much of a pressure is in US players to sort of deliver this particular one?
Yeah, I mean, look, from the player's perspective, the pressure is always there for us to deliver in every competition that we play in. You know, we don't go into a competition and feel more pressure and feel less pressure when you play other competitions. The pressure will always be there, and the pressure is the same. You know, like I said, we want to do well. We want to win the next match, and for us, that is the most important thing. Our focus and the energy is on the next match. We don't think about the final, we don't think about reaching the final, we only think about the next match. And if we do well in the next match, then we give ourselves a chance. But regarding the pressure, I mean, for a big brand like ours, for a team like ours, you know, pressure will always be there, pressure to deliver will always be there, and I believe we are more than capable of dealing with the pressure.
No, it's not going to be easy, for obvious reasons. It's a knockout game. First of all, the advantage is not that big that we can say that, you know, this is already done. We're going with a 1-0 advantage. It's a well-organized team, very athletic, very strong physically. They were capable to contend us in some periods in the first game, even though we could get more advantage even early in the game. But it's never easy if our mentality for this type of games is like, no, it will never happen. We know what we want, we know what kind of performance we want to develop tomorrow, and the result is going to be a consequence of that. So no, we will never face a game in general thinking that. In football nowadays, it may be 20 years ago, but nowadays the distances between the teams are very thin. In every competition, if you are sleeping, you're out. So this is not an exception.
Coach, realistically speaking, Djabal is probably going to be one of the easiest opposition you face in this competition this season. Do you express to your squad that this is an opportunity to boost morale? Like, you need to obviously be ruthless and maybe send a message out to the rest of the teams in the competition. And then, you know, you're obviously club captain. There's a lot of competition for places in this team. Do you feel a little bit more pressure this season to win your place as an undisputed starter?
I should start. Oh, well, to be honest with you, you know, we're a squad of quality players and good players. And like the coaches said, the most important thing is for us is to support each other, whether you're starting matches or you're watching from the bench, because we're all playing a role. You know, we have a long season ahead, and the most important thing is to trust and respect the decisions that have been made. Whether there's pressure for me to start or no, a place in the team, I mean, no one is a starting place in the team. You have to work hard each and every day to earn your stripes, you know. But at the end of the day, you need to trust the process, you need to trust the decisions, and support the team, and put other players before you. And if you do that in the long run, things always work out. So yeah, I mean, the team comes first, always. It has always been like that for me ever since my first day at the club. You know, you put other people first, you put the team first, and yeah, things work out at the end.
Who knows if it's going to be easy? I can bet now with you that it's not going to be easy. After my experience there a few days ago, my feeling right now in my body is that it's -1. You know, I feel this feeling in my stomach that tomorrow we compete, that we play home, that we want to offer a good face of the team. Nothing changed. And if you tell me that tomorrow somebody else, some other team is waiting there, the feeling is going to be the same. For the players, it's the same. We don't care so much about the name of the opponent, the competition. Like said before, we go in game by game. We try to go to the next one to play our best game so far this season, and that's all. After the game, we can speak about if it was easy or was difficult, but before the games, nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't think that anybody expect that 2 weeks ago we're going to beat Sekukune 5-0, right? So speculate about how easy is one game or how difficult it's going to be the next one. I don't think, like I said before, in football nowadays, we went to Comoros not knowing so much about the opponent. They could easily analyze 40 games of ourselves from the last season. So that makes the things very difficult nowadays. The opponent can prepare very well the game if they want, if they have the time and if they have the capacity. So we will never underestimate an opponent or a game.
Joseph from Sports Coach, just on the inside of what you found at the Comoros compared to playing day in, day out in the PSL, within your first experience playing in the continent, how vast or how different is the style of play in the continent based on the match that you've seen compared to what you see every day, whether in Europe or whether it's here at home? And how much of your previous experience in that match are you taking into this, looking into factors like scoring late in the game and your goal coming from the bench and having changed a few players in the starting lineup? How much of that gave you some experience going into the next game?
6 questions in a row. Well done. Look, I don't think that I can make a statement about the football in the continent after one game in Comoros. It's just one game. After season, I can tell you my opinion about the football in the continent and what it means and the differences and stuff. Now it's gonna be a bit, like unprofessional from my side if I have an opinion already. What I know is like I said, it's a knockout games or two legs. It's always complicated for everyone, for the big fish, for the small fish, for different reasons. So we try to take it serious. What we want is to win every game. I'm happy that we managed to get a good result, not because we're going to face the second one in advantage, because we won. And we managed to win our first game away. It doesn't matter if it's in Comoros or if it's in Cape Town. We managed to get our first victory away, which is important for us, for the group, for our mentality. And now we have to go to the game the same way. It's 0-0. We want to win the game. We don't want to play draws. We are not thinking about only going to the next round. We want to perform. We want to prepare the next game as well. Keep growing as a group. All of those things that play a relevant role. And again, the result, it was 1-0. We scored in the last minutes of the game, but we could easily do it early in the game. Like I said before, we have several chances in the first part of the first half. We have chances in the second half even more clear. So it's the result is one thing, the performance is a different thing. So we go into the next one to try to do our best one more time.
Okay, we'll take the final 3 questions. Starting now.
Coach Benjamin Miranda Sokaladuna. Coach, this one will be mixed. It's looking at Tuesday game against Cape Town City and also tomorrow against Djabal. The balancing of knowing which game you want more. How do you balance that, knowing that you want to do well in all the competitions, but then the games are coming thick and thin, faster? How do you balance? How do you prepare the players mentally to say all the games are the importance of all the games are equal?
We are in Orlando Pirates. We are Orlando Pirates. If I'm in a different place, I can say which tournament is more important for the club, or this one, or we shouldn't lose our focus here or there. But we don't see any reason why we cannot win every game. Probably we're not gonna win every game. Obviously, nobody can do it. But our mentality is to face game by game with the opportunity to win. Now we're gonna play 3 games. The next 3 games are very important in 3 different competitions, and all of them are gonna help us to get close to our objectives. And we don't want to We don't want to choose which one are we going to go 100%, which one is 80, which one, we can play with 9 players because it's going to be a piece of. It's not like that. We're going game by game. We repeat it many times. We both this morning because it's the truth. And after Djabal, we want to start thinking about Cape Town. After Cape Town, we will start thinking about Stellenbosch, but not before.
Chobesi from Far Post. Coach, you've got a very big squad, a lot of quality players, and obviously all of them wanting to play. How do you keep them happy? And then the second one, any injuries?
I'm not here to keep them happy. I'm here to help them to be a better team, to be better players all together. The moment that we are part of the group, players and coaching staff, we have to accept the rules in a way. That is a very competitive squad. If you are not a good player, you're not going to be part of this group. It goes without saying. All of them are very important players, quality players, experienced players, international players, players with different objectives, different moments in their careers. So we try to, or I'm desperate to make them feel part of the process as much as possible. Them is about our capacity to be fair with them as much as possible. It's impossible to be 100% fair because I have many players who deserves to be in the starting 11 tomorrow. So I have to be unfair with some of them because unfortunately I cannot play 20. That's the reality. That's the football rules. The players are smart. They understand. They have to accept it. So I don't face my. If I try to please everyone, it's not gonna work. So I'm not think. I hope that everybody is happy, or at least the moments of sadness or when they are upset are very short, and it's normal for a player that is not playing to feel upset or feel that, because they love to play. I'll say all of them. They love to play. They are all capable to play. And I'm the person who is telling once per week or twice per week that, sorry, you're not gonna play. So I'm not pretending to feel or think that they're gonna be happy, with me, and it's not the point. They have to be not angry, but they are competitive, so they have to show that we are, not that we are wrong, but they are also ready to compete and ready to play. That's what we want, because the important thing is that when they are coming to the field, they can show that they are capable, they are ready, and they really want to play. So that's the way we face it. Then if we manage to make them happy during the week because they are motivated with what we do, they trust the things that we do on the field, that's the crucial part. But they are professionals, they understand where they are, even though during the season it's normal to have some moments where you can feel more upset or more disappointed. It's a normal thing in football.
Final question.
Coach, last season Orlando Pirates was one of the best scoring and defensive team, and this season, of course, you can see the Pirates is finding the back of the net on a regular basis compared to last year where it started slow. Is it still early days for you to say is it still early for you to say Pirates it's there where you want it to be, or you still feel that there's more that needs to be done, finding the back of the net on a regular basis, strengthening your defense as well? And then 2018-2019 Pirates played the Confederations Cup where you lost out in the final. How different is it playing Confederations and Champions League? Is it the same intensity? Are you facing the same conditions, hostile, style of play, on all sorts of things?
Yeah, look, the tournaments, the competitions are different, right? It's the Champions League and the Confed, but But yeah, reaching the final, it was nice. The style of play, I can say it was similar. And yeah, it was very, very competitive. We had a good run. We had a solid team at that time in the tournament, in that campaign, and we were able to reach the final. Unfortunately, things didn't go our way. But if I have to compare the two, in the Champions League, you play a lot of teams that are more tactical, technical also, and in the Confed, it's more about aggression and strength and the will to win. So those are my observations between the two tournaments. Yeah, but this season it's the Champions League, which is different from the other one, and we are looking forward to it.
I'm surprised with that narrative about us scoring goals, to be honest. If I'm not mistaken, after the game we lost against Kaiser Chiefs 1-0, we managed to score in 16 games in a row until we play against Stellenbosch a few weeks ago. And the moment that we didn't score against Stellenbosch, the first question after the game was, are we having problems in front of the goal? So I think we need to be a bit more concrete when we start to create that type of narrative around our team, which is not true. In the same period, I think our percentage of goals conceded was 0.58 or 0.61 goals conceded per game, is the lowest in the country. So I think we can discuss many things when we speak about our performances. You can like or buy the way we play or not, but when we speak about figures, when we speak about numbers, in the recent times, I don't think that it's an issue. And when we start to create that kind of narrative, it seems that our strikers are not scoring, our players are not scoring, which is not true. And it's an extra pressure around us and around our players that they don't really deserve.
Okay, since we have 2 minutes, I'll allow one final question to Mazolan when we're done. Today.
Thanks, DDT. Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe last season you did mention the idea that a technical team could grow bigger because of obviously the number of games and the modern game and that. Are you finding that this season there will be more to do? Maybe, I don't know if you've started doing it, to split the tasks, because one team maybe has to focus on a cap game and then immediately you've got Cape Town City and then you're playing another game, or you work as a group together, given that you did mention that some players obviously you can't play everyone. Do you split some and another group works with a different technical team, or how do you approach it?
No, there's something we cannot avoid, which is long trips. For an example, what it happens last week, we traveled with 18 players, we are 36 in the squad. So it means that 50% of the squad will stay here, and we have to make sure that we do a good use of our technical staff, that we can guarantee that everybody is getting a quality trainings, taking care of them at the same level, especially, like I said, in moments like this that we have to travel to Comoros and we are 4 nights, if I'm not mistaken, 5 nights far from home, to make it possible. So we have to guarantee that the players that are not traveling get a quality, around them, and that's why the coaching staff grew this season and probably will continue growing in the future, trying to increase the ratio of technical staff around the players. So far we are not an NBA team with 2 coaches per player, but I think football is going in that direction, but in the end what we try, like I said before, is to help the players as much as possible. That's what the players want from us, and we try to surround them with good human beings first of all, and people with knowledge and with capacity to help them in many different situations that they have to face during the season. But at the same time, and like I said many times, we are one team, we are not two teams. Don't ever see the team like, okay, these ones are the ones who are going to play in Africa, these ones have to win the league, these ones will get rid of the MTN. No, it's not like that. Circumstances push you sometimes to make some certain decisions when we speak about which players are facing the games or are traveling or not, but we will never take it like these are the experts in Africa, these ones are the ones who have to win the games at home, these ones away. We are one group. We try to keep them together as much as possible, understanding that sometimes, like 1 week ago, we have to separate the group for 4 or 5 days.